very first gig that AJ and I played together was called Mudfest. I don't even know if it counts. I was in like 9th grade.
This is awesome.
AJ would have been a junior, and we went out to the sod farm in Bothwell, Utah, and they set
Bothwell,
up
Utah?
Yeah,
Where the hell is that?
I don't even know
It's
what the
out
fuck
there.
that is, man.
It's out there.
Yeah.
a suburb of
Oh,
Tremont.
clearly, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Farm. It's a
It's
farm.
sod mecca out there, grass mecca out there.
Okay.
So we set up on 4 2-ton straw bales and plywood, and just
No
little
shit.
Fender combo amps. And I don't know if there was even a PA or the singers just screamed, but the drum set was rocking the whole time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the ZAZ podcast. I'm Zach and I'm here with my co-host Matt. We've got another fantastic episode for you.
Yeah, today we're joined by Scarlet Rain, a hard rock band that packs serious punch with their music and live shows.
Their female vocalist shreds and their music takes you on an emotional journey with roaring guitars and spine-tingling screams. We're really excited to dive into their story.
Yeah, and as this is our season finale, we're thrilled to end on such a high note. So let's get started and meet Scarlet Rain.
All right, we have Scarlet Rain in the studio. I want to say thank you for joining us, and this is actually going to be our season ender. So you guys are the
So you're the
of our
big season
first
finale.
season.
Big
So-
finale.
Yeah.
Right on.
How did you guys get started as Scarlet Rain?
Yeah, so it's kind of a little bit of a complicated story. Derek and AJ were actually in a band called Judgmental. They started playing in high school, and actually Jason's dad and uncle were in a different band, and they asked me to come and sing a song with them by Hailstorm, Familiar Taste of Poison. And so it was just kind of like a one-off thing just for fun for, I think it was like a Halloween party or something. And so we got together, kind of joined the groups together and did the cover. And after that, I was like, that kicked ass. Like I had a riot. Never in my life did I think I would be like singing in front of people. I've always had kind of a stage fright about like singing in front of people. It's kind of intense if you've never done it. It's a lot to hear yourself back in a speaker because you're like, I don't sound like that, right?
Right.
But, yeah, it was just like a thrill and it was like a dream. I just was like, hey guys, I want to keep doing this, and that's kind of how Scarlet Rain started.
So would you
that's
say?
so-
I'm sorry, Zach. I don't want to step over you, but it kind of ties into a question we like to ask everybody that we talk to. Is that that kind of clearly was your aha moment? Because I think that every performer, every artist has this aha moment where they have this defining moment where they think that's what I wanted.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Like we just sang the one song with them, and I was just like, that kicked so much ass. Like, you're just riding this high, and it might have sucked ass. I have no idea, but for me, it was highlight of my life.
Awesome.
Fantastic.
That was
That was what I
my
was going to
moment.
ask.
Nice.
Cool.
We're right there, man.
So, we were doing a little bit of research, and so you had is it Jason? Is there his uncle was part of the group too, and then he dropped out, and then Jason joined in. So that was your uncle, or
Yeah, that was my uncle, and I was just, I guess, tired of doing it. Couldn't keep up anymore, and these guys asked me to do it. And now I'm been loving it since it's been about 4 years. So
nice.
Right on.
And so,
that is
Derek, you are, I guess, one of the main composers for the group. Is that right, or am I wrong on that?
We collaborate really well together.
Okay.
We'll get together and start riffing out, and when Carrie hears something that she likes or something we really like, we'll get it down on tape, and then we'll work it. We'll give it to Carrie, and she disappears with a bottle of wine and comes back with a song.
Nice.
That's
That's
real
that's awesome.
accurate.
Yeah. So, and you're the drummer, right? Correct. And then so AJ, you're the guitarist, and so do you do a lot of the basic riffing? Like, I'm just curious how does your songs usually form?
Yeah, it varies some, but definitely I would start with me writing the riffs. Jason kind of too, playing bass guitar. We kind of go off each other for sure. And even Derek played guitar in the band before, so he's a capable guitar player as well. So sometimes that's a route we take as well.
All right. So like you guys get together, or maybe you create a demo, I guess, and different. You guys probably have your own home studios and whatnot, and then just kind of bounce them around and.
Yep.
that way. Okay.
Lots of repetition. It's how we kind of grind it out.
Right. What year did you guys start as Scarlet Rain? Like how long you guys been doing this together?
2000
Yeah.
and
2009. You guys have been together forever.
Right
yeah,
on.
we're old as shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true.
Except
I am
Jade.
too. Well, I'm going to be 50 in
Basically
2 months.
look
So.
it, but
Yeah. No, you guys look great. Like, it was just funny because I was at the state fair and I wasn't playing the night that you guys were playing, but I seen on the marquee that you guys were going to be playing. I was like, man, I made it the wrong damn day. But it was a family thing because like, my wife's like, no, you need to come. I'm like, I really don't want to go, and then she's like, no, you need to go. So, but anyway, I saw that and I was like, I would have loved to have seen that. But so can you share some memorable days of like your early days? I mean, obviously Carrie expressed, like her first time performing, like what Derek, or how was it like, what was your first gig? Like, I'm trying to describe like,
Because
when you
Derek
played
and
your
AJ, she said you guys played in a band in high school together, right?
Yeah. Clear up until
Okay.
probably 2011 or 12 or something like that.
Yeah, the very first gig that AJ and I played together was called Mudfest. I don't even know if it counts. I was in like 9th grade.
It's awesome.
AJ would have been a junior, and we went out to the sod farm in Bothwell, Utah, and they set
Bothwell,
up some,
Utah?
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
the hell is
drum.
that?
I don't even know
It's
what the
out
fuck
there.
that is, man.
It's out there.
Yeah.
Just a suburb of
Oh,
Tremont.
clearly.
Okay. Farm. It's a
It's
farm.
sod mecca out there, grass mecca out there.
Yep.
yep,
Okay.
yep.
Okay.
So we set up on 4 2-ton straw bales and plywood, and just
No
little
shit.
Fender combo amps. And I don't know if there was even a PA or the singers just screamed, but the drum set was rocking the whole time.
You just
And-
the whole stage moving around because it was on bales of hay. I can
Yep.
shit. Yeah,
That
that
counts,
you
man.
were
This is the best
surfing.
story.
You were you surfing stage. Just so it sounds like. But
Basement. I know it's there.
Good
I have
dude.
it.
Dig
I
out
could
the
find
old
it. It's
VHS.
there.
It's funny because Zach and I played our first gig together in high school as well, and it was at a Lagoon end of season employee party.
Yeah.
Nice.
Legit.
Absolutely.
yeah, nah,
No.
yeah, it was. We thought we were
Totally.
the shit.
We were the
But-
shit in our own
Yeah.
minds.
You were.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
were.
in our own minds.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I didn't
but-
see any other motherfuckers up there playing in a band. I have a band. What have you got?
they loved it. They loved it.
Hell yeah.
That was kind of an aha moment for me. So I was
Right.
like, damn, I could do this for a lot of people. So, but yeah, right on, man.
Well, yeah.
So let's see. You guys are currently working on a bunch of stuff. You know what I also wanted to bring up too is you guys recently, I'm assuming recently, because I heard, and maybe I'm wrong, I think I was watching a podcast that Scarlet was on previously, like earlier in the summer, and you guys recently got signed to an independent label. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we're currently signed with a company called Curtain Call Records.
Okay.
They're kind of an
Okay.
affiliate of Sony. So yeah,
Okay.
we've been signed with them since June, and yeah, they're putting us through the ringer, man.
Yeah.
What is that like? Because I mean, it's like, it's like you come up through and it's like, you think, so when we get signed, we're going to get signed, get
Yeah.
signed, get signed, get signed. And now that the reality of like walk us through what changed from before and like the pros and cons of what you're experiencing.
Yeah. So probably start with the cons. The cons is, I mean, they're pushing us into several different countries. They're playing us all over in Europe. We're like on a rock station down in New Zealand. Our song Shattered was like in the top 3 songs that they've been playing over the last month or so. And so, I mean, they're getting us into, like I said, a lot of different countries. They're helping us get to people's ears and like
How would that
the industry
be a
is.
con though?
Sorry,
Did you
this
mean
is
pros?
pro. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, how is that bad?
Ignore that. No.
Oh, okay. It's
So
a pro.
definitely, it's a pro.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're just helping us push out to, different countries and different people, and how the industry is running, how it is currently. It is so hard to get heard. There's
Yes,
so
it is.
many musicians. There's so many people making music, whether it's good or bad. It's just an oversaturation, and so to anything to get kind of one step ahead or one step on top of what's going on is just obviously a pro, not a con.
Right.
Yeah, they've been great to work with. They've been giving us a lot of hints on how to, grow our social media presence. Just they've got a lot of insight. They got a lot of years in the industry as a group. And so, all constructive feedback, of course, it's always good to hear. Sometimes that's hard to hear, but it's
Yes.
always good for you in the end. And then, as far as actual cons, I don't know if you can call it a con, but it's a lot of work. We're in weekly
Commitment.
meetings with them.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
just, and they'd warned us, like, if you're going to sign this contract with us, this is going to be a lot of work. So
Yep.
get
Be
ready for it.
prepared. Yeah.
Yeah. If
Get
you're not
busy.
ready, if you're not ready to get your asses kicked, then this is not the contract for you. And they are true to their word. They're, which is good. They're holding us to, accountability for things that they want us to do. And it's definitely a lot of work, but it's been awesome experiences so far.
Yeah. Well, like international exposure. What more can you ask for on that? Like,
Yeah.
and socially, like on the social media, like since I started following you guys, I just noticed that, like, at least over the summer, it was like all of a sudden there was this big push. Boom, boom. I'm seeing you guys in my feed all the time. And it was like new stuff. So, and my thought process on that was, okay, that's the label saying, hey, you got to get going. Cause there's another band. It's like a rock reggae band that I love called Bumpin' Uglies. And they kind of got
Love
signed
those
to a
guys.
label. And that
Yeah, those guys
Brendan
are badass.
Brendan hates doing the social media, but he's just like, they tell me I got to do it, so I'm fucking doing it, But
Yeah.
and that's what
It's
it reminded
brutal.
me
It's
of. So,
brutal.
but yeah, so right on though. So so far it's been a really good experience for you then.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
They're trying right now. They're
great.
trying to push us into some festivals that are going to be coming up in 2025. So I don't think I'm at liberty to say what those are yet, but hopefully.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't
Now, is
expect
it a
it.
kind of a thing where they're helping you with stuff and they take a cut, or is there some type of remuneration for you guys right now? Like, when would it get to a point where you could feasibly like quit your day jobs, or have you quit your day jobs, or?
No, but yeah,
Man, that's the dream.
Absolutely, man.
let's work full time out.
Yep.
We call it day puke jobs.
It is.
Right.
Yeah, we have
I
all
got one
outside
too.
jobs.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing is that, part of what we're trying to bring on this show is kind of, get insights into what it's like to be a working musician, to be, in a creator, a DIY artist, and getting insights like this, we're hoping that people that are trying to decide, well, I think I want to be in a band. They may have a place where they can come and hear conversations among people that are doing it, have done it, and kind of hear the reality of what it is. Because I know for a lot of the young bands coming up, they think we get signed, that means we can quit doing this and we're just going to do this and it'll be great. And that's not the reality.
Yeah, not even close. Like it's just,
Right.
right now they're, it's kind of more of like a PR push. They're giving us advice on our social medias. Like I said, they're pushing us out to all these different countries. So, it's everybody's dream to like, oh, all of a sudden have a, $1 million record contract. But it's just, the reality of the industry this day is that's just not a thing that's going to happen. So
Right.
you just do it for the love of it.
Well, sure. But do you feel like being connected with those guys have obviously like leveled you guys up, to where
For sure,
maybe you were?
for
Yeah.
sure.
So
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, we've seen growth and we've seen more interaction and things like that. So it's definitely something.
So you guys, are they just trying try to like, I'm thinking like when you say festivals, like are they planning on touring, like getting you guys on a tour or doing regional tours, or do they handle that? Or you have kind of like, that's kind of on your own and they're more like a PR, we're going to help get your brand out there and see how it goes, I suppose.
Yeah. A lot of it's just they're trying to push us out, see what kind of markets, kind of pick us up, where are we growing our fan base at. And then as far as like any kind of tours, that would be probably mostly on us. But what we're hoping to do is kind of coincide a festival and tour on the way and possibly on the way back. And so if we can get something like that lined up, we would be responsible to try to, book those shows to and from.
Right.
But
That would make sense if you did too, because I mean, why wouldn't you? You know, like
Mhm.
I would, yeah, if you guys can afford it. Like that's the whole thing, like is like with a day job and you have mouths to feed at home, you know, and bills to pay and a mortgage or whatnot. You're like, I could probably take a few days off, but I couldn't take like 6 weeks off, you know? And
yeah.
so, but I would, to me, I'd be inclined to do the same thing. Like, well, like if I got a festival I'm playing in California or whatever, maybe we could do a date in Nevada or another bar or some other small club in California. But I think it's really cool that they are willing to, you know, they understand that, you know, you guys are family people. So they understand that they just don't expect you to like, you know, give everything up and sacrifice everything, you know, and try to make that work. So I think
Yeah,
it's
Well,
it's
and
nice that they,
yeah, it's
they're
and
always
then
trying
that's
to-
been yeah. Sorry, I said that's just been the good thing about Curtain Call is they're not, you know, they're going to present us with these opportunities. We've been presented with a couple of opportunities to go on, you know, small tours, but it's just like, okay, that's in Florida. It's on the East Coast. For us to
Right.
be, you know, we sit
That's
down
a
and we
lot.
take a look at the price.
Mhm.
We
Yep.
gotta, you know, we gotta sleep. We gotta eat. We gotta, you know, buy merch to support going on a tour because people are gonna want to buy stuff. And it's like, it's all that little thing, the things that you don't think about until you're presented with it. And then you're like, well, I need like $20,000 to do this. And so,
Yeah, right,
is thi-
right.
yeah, is this a good idea for us? Or, you
Or
know,
can you
so
even feasibly do it? You know, like
Yeah.
you've got, yeah.
yeah, so
So
they've been really good about it.
the
They
logistics of the
get
money
it
side
too.
is the logistics of the money side with this, you know, dealing with Curtain Call has kind of been eye opening because it's hard. It's super hard to logistically make it work out and say, you know, what am I willing to lose financially, you know, to be able to do these things? It's definitely a hard decision to make sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. You know, like that, and it can almost sometimes feel kind of heartbreaking, you know, because you're like,
Mhm.
gosh, I'm so damn close. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like, well, you know, there's no guarantees either. Like you know, in your head, you think, well, I could just like maybe what would happen if I sacrificed everything? I just like left, you know, my previous life and I just went for it. There's no guarantees that that's going to work out for you either.
No.
Yeah, so it's tough, but you know what? You guys are doing great. Like I love the music. It sounds great. Like, what do you guys do for studio? Like, do you guys do it self-produced, or do you have a studio that you go to, or an engineer that you work, or producer that you personally work with?
We've had a guy, Randy Slaw. He was out of Sandy. He
Okay,
did all the production for us and the tracking, and then we work with.
and that's for this recent album, or the. I'm trying to look at your albums here that you have, so on your
Yeah,
discography.
so the Mirai album, that was done with a friend.
Okay, yep.
So that was kind of self-produced
What
in a
about
way.
11th Hour? That seems like one of your older albums. It looks
Yep,
like
that one was also self-produced.
Okay. Okay.
And then the brand new one that it's not out as an album yet, but Bad Monkeys, that's the one we've been doing with Randy and Aggressive Audio.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm
Yeah, with
trying to
Flip.
Flip. Who's Flip?
Flip.
Yep. He's been mixing and mastering our newest album.
Oh, okay.
So
And that
he's the owner of Aggressive Audio.
oh, okay. And where's he located out of?
Kaysville?
Bountiful.
Bountiful.
He's
Yeah.
in
Okay.
Bend.
All right.
Yep.
So close. Yeah.
Same thing.
Awesome.
Yep. Got a badass studio in his house. Check out his
So,
website, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's-
What's the name of what
Aggressive Audio.
Aggressive Audio, and the engineer's name is what is it again?
His
Flip?
name Philip Too Good.
Okay. Philip Too Good, but he goes by
He
Flip.
goes by Flip. Yep. Yep.
That's awesome. Okay. I'll plug that in. I'll put that in the show for sure. So you guys, so Bad Monkeys is that if that's a song that I'm seeing, but I'm trying to look at your albums. Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's
Mariah. Oh, so you haven't released your next album. Like right now you're putting out singles, correct?
correct.
Yep.
Yeah, so Bad Monkeys is the name of the album, and it's the title track on that the new
Okay.
album.
Okay. All right. And then I'm on your Spotify here, just checking it out. So Detonate was recent, right? Detonate is your
Mhm.
recent one. I love
Yep.
that song. Yeah.
Thank you.
And then you have a new one coming out. You want to talk about that? Is
Iris.
it
Yes.
like Iris Black? I think it's called.
Iris Black.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, I think what was the date that comes out? December
2nd of November.
22nd of November. So it may, by the
Couple
time
weeks.
this airs, it may have been out already, but I will leave the links to that. And that's part of Bad Monkey's album as well.
Yeah, it's the last
Okay.
song on the album, and then
Yep, then we'll
Last
kick
we
the
song.
only
whole
got
thing
one
out.
special track that'll come out.
Oh, okay. All right. So are you guys doing like a waterfall release with all of that, or are you just going to release like a several, just 2 or 3 singles and then put out the rest of the album, or what's your plan with that?
Yeah, so we've been slowly releasing this since, was it the end of 2023?
Yeah,
Is
I
that when
think
we
so.
started releasing it? Yeah, so we've just been doing a release like every, I want to say 8 weeks or so,
Yep.
give or take.
Okay. Playing
And
the
so, yeah.
Spotify game.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know
I-
all about it. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm from like the old school where I just want the album released as one entire, here you go,
Yep.
like here's a CD.
Where do
go
I
buy
get the
it at
CD? Yeah,
Sam Goody
exactly.
or whatever. But yeah, so it's been it's difficult for me to like just slow release stuff. But at the
I
same
know.
time, it gives us time to write new tracks, get down to the studio, get them recorded, get them all finished up. So that, I mean, that's kind of the good part about doing that. So we do have one more song that we'll release, and then we'll release this as an entire album. We did
Right.
kind of like there's a song called Keep It Quiet, and we did like an instrumental reimagined version. And so we'll
Okay.
release that as like kind of like a bonus track
Mhm.
on the album. And then
Yep.
that's kind of like the finishing touch on that one. So
That's awesome. So you guys have been slowly working this album all year long.
Almost two.
Yeah.
Almost
Almost 2
right?
years. Yeah, you said 23. Yeah, that is crazy. The other side of that is it's good because, when you do every 6 to 8 week releases, you're constant, like it's always something to push in the social medias, it's like you're always in
Mhm.
front of the audience when you do that, because pop out an album, you're like, cool, and you promote it for maybe a month or two, and then people are like, yeah, I already know, yeah, you got the album out, like whatever, dude, but
Yeah, you're
by
done.
doing it
Yep.
just the way you're doing it, yeah. And I actually researched all this because I'm like you, Carrie. I'm like, I just want to buy the album. Like, where do I get the album? But the waterfall release does serve a purpose, and having
Yeah.
to play this Spotify game is like, it's frustrating, I think, for me,
So frustrating. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like, it's such a vanity metric, you're like, you can't even, you're not even in the ballpark anymore. Like, you're not even like going to make peanuts until you hit 1,000 streams, and it's like, oh my gosh, do you guys do any marketing, like paid advertising or paid marketing for any of that?
We've only been able to do like, I think it was one marketing campaign with Spotify so far. I need to look into pushing it, but it's been super weird.
I know.
I don't know why it is so difficult to make like a campaign. Because like, I mean, you look at TikTok or Facebook or even Instagram, and it's like, hey, you did this. Do you want to pay to, boost your post or whatever? And
Yeah,
for some
boosting.
reason, Spotify is just difficult to deal with.
My thing is, so my band, I was in that, I was telling you, I was in that ska rock band or whatever back in the 90s called Hooray Hoo. And then we broke up, and then like 20 something years later, we're like, hey, we're all still alive. We should get back together. So we did that for a while. And then I was the last one to go with it, and this was my baby. Like, I created that band, and it's like, I don't know, man, like there was kind of a reason why we broke up in the first place, So we got back together, and people are asking me like, so what's it like getting back together? I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like getting back together with an ex-girlfriend, like it was fun, but there was a reason why you broke up. And there's 8 of us, right? There's 8 members, and try to get all of 8 of us to even show up on a Saturday. Like it got to the point where I'm like, I'm done with this. So I started a new project called Z Frequency, and that's what this is. And that's kind of what spawned this podcast. But I had all of these songs I've written, from years ago, like 4 years old, or, right around that time. And I thought, oh, it'd be cool to put music to this. So instead of like, I'll just farm it out, like I have guitar friends and drummer friends. And I'm like, hey, do you want to be on this track? And so we bounce tracks back and forth, and then I come back to here, and then I mix it down, which is cool. It's been an awesome experience. Problem is all of these songs sound so different, and so marketing wise, that I can't zero in on a genre, like I've just recently looked at a song that I wrote back in April called Resort, and it's a great song. Well done, well put together. It's a rock song, but the song before that was like this ska song, and so trying to get the algorithm to understand what my audience is, and I'm just like, I don't know. And moving forward, I don't know what I'm going to do either. I'm thinking I still love reggae. I'm a reggae ska guy, but I'm also an industrial guy. Like I love Nine Inch Nails, and The Cure and Oingo Boingo and all these other '80s modern bands. But I have no idea what that's going to look like. But I'm hoping that it's kind of centered, so it's a little more easier to promote. Because like you guys' stuff sounds very like like when I listen to it, I'm like, oh, the Scarlet Rain. I can hear that. Where if you didn't know my voice, you wouldn't know the different genres and stuff. But that's cool. So you guys plan. So your release, Bad Monkeys, is when's that planning on coming out? November, you said? No, that's a single.
That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I don't
As
think
far
we've
as like
narrowed down a date.
Okay,
Yeah.
so sometime
Yeah.
next year.
Early
next year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So are you guys writing music right now like kind of in the works? Like there's new stuff that Jason's like, yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We finished recording that last song and just went straight back to work.
That's
Just went
awesome.
straight back to work with a new one that you can only hear live. So come out and catch a show sometime.
Yeah. So where do you guys like to usually play out here in the Great Valley of Utah?
We play, man, I think the last couple of years, we've been so centered just in the Salt Lake Valley. And we play a lot of Barbary Coast. We
How
were
is that
playing a
place?
lot at, how is it?
Yeah, like I've always thought about like maybe I could play there. I've never been in that club and I see it all the time. But
It's awesome. It's just your true American biker bar, and it's
rock and
awesome.
roll.
Rock and roll. Anytime you go to Barbary Coast, you're going to get a kick-ass rock band. Like
Nice.
if you want some rock, that's like the place to go. So the owners are really awesome to work with, and we usually get a pretty decent crowd there. We do play over at the Cache over in Logan. I don't know if you get up to this area,
that's like
but
that is like in the like kind of the hop. That's the biggest place to play there as far as bar scenes go, isn't it? Oh,
yeah,
Cache Bar, I
it's
think.
So,
yeah.
that is like where it's at, and it's an amazing place to play. They get that
Yeah,
college crowd from Utah State, and
Right.
so it's always nice kind of getting that younger crowd in there to
Right.
because they're full of energy and they'll get up and they'll rock out, and it's really fun to play there. And we play the Utah State Fair every year. That's always like one of our favorite venues to play. You've got all the rides going in the background, and people are, there's a lot of
It makes
traffic
makes
going
great
through.
video footage. Like you guys' little
Yeah.
reels that I've seen, or the clips. Like I think you're promoting Iris Black with it, but I was just like I was standing right there. Like I'm like I could have been the camera guy from that angle, and I had to stop by. Like as a musician, like the family's like we're going over here, and I'm like okay, I'm gonna stop here for a second, and then check
Yeah.
out the band that was playing. And but you guys recently played at Ice House too, right, in Salt Lake?
Yeah.
Yep. What did you guys
we
think of
play
that
there
place?
quite a bit.
I love that
Kicks
place.
ass. I
Yeah,
love playing there.
Yeah, it's just great. The engineer he's awesome too. He's just super laid back.
Yeah, we love that venue. Love it.
Yeah, and we used to play a lot at Lighthouse Lounge in Ogden. And they've since changed to something else. So I think the really only places there that like Ogden wise, I'm trying to think that would house a band my size that's pretty much would be Brewski's, I
Yeah.
guess maybe, but
Brewskis, I was gonna say, or maybe Funk and Dive, but they have a pretty small.
yeah, it's
Like
like
we
really
barely sit on
weird
that stage, and there's four of
Yeah,
us.
it's like
Very
it's like super
strange.
narrow, but like long. Like, oh, we can move all this shit out of the closet, and you can put the drummer back there. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but like that sounds weird, man.
It's a
like,
super cool venue. Like I love the
Yeah, oh,
layout of
yeah.
it. It's
Yeah.
so cool, but it's like, you're just kind of little squished onto this little stage. But
I think
Yeah.
what's cool is that you have people above you and behind you. Like, they have a
Mhm.
little pool, and then if you're
Mhm.
having a really happening show, everywhere you look, there's just faces watching, and it's kind of cool. Like, I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to set up there. I haven't been there in a while, but cool. So it's Derek and AJ. Do you guys like you guys? What do you guys use for your DAW, like your recording setup?
So I've got Cubase. I've just got
Okay.
kind of an
Cubase
intro
guy.
version of Cubase is what I use.
All right. How long you been using that?
Probably a year and a half.
So you're pretty recent with it. Okay.
Pretty new to it, yeah. It's very introductory.
Well, and there's a lot of people like. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, Jason, he's more involved on the DAW side, doing stuff like that. He creates all our backing tracks and pieces everything together.
Jason does?
Yeah.
So Jason, what do you like to use?
Yeah, I run Logic.
Logic Pro? Okay.
Yeah, just mostly because I have an iPhone and sending stuff back and forth makes it too easy with the Mac. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I have a strong preference. I just know Logic real well.
And that's the thing, it's like I have a PC and I've always I never had Mac money to do some of the Mac stuff, but I wish I could, but now I'm at the point where I could afford one, but I'm so used to using the DAW that I have. It's like, why change it? You're gonna have to learn that learning curve, and it's exhausting, and then you turn into like a plug-in whore where you're like, oh, it's the latest, greatest. And so so I have a problem with that.
He's not lying. He's not lying. We'll be on the phone. He's like, yeah, I'm just waiting. I bought like 40 plugins and I'm just waiting for all of them to install. And then I got to do this. I kind of went overboard, man, but this one look, and then it'll be like 25 minutes and I understand about every 8th or 9th word, but he's so enthusiastic about it that it's just like,
you're like, cool,
man, that sounds awesome.
Go,
dude.
man, you could do it.
My wife's the same way. She just looks at me like a deer in headlights. Like, I'm like, you're not getting any of it, huh? She's like, nah. I'm like, okay.
But
Never
it's
mind.
not like you want him to stop.
I don't have a
because
support
it's like,
group,
I don't
man.
know what the hell you're saying, but I'm excited about it. And let's
Right.
go record some shit.
But that's cool. So what's in the future plans for you guys?
Yeah, hopefully get on some festivals. We obviously want to do the tour, kind of how we were discussing before. So hopefully 2025 is the year to do that. And yeah, we'll release hopefully the album. We actually do have, I just barely got our music video back for Bad Monkeys. And so we'll be releasing that probably the middle of January. So we've got our YouTube channel. We're doing a lot of like YouTube shorts, and I'm doing a lot of lyric videos as well on
Good.
there. So
I'll make sure to
keeps
leave a
me
link
busy.
to you guys' stuff at the description as well, because we post this on YouTube. That's kind of like where I decided that is where we should be put most of our focus in.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great.
Learning that shit on the fly has been an adventure for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still like that's what I do. Like I have stacks of papers that I've printed off and just created my own notes on like how to be better at, it's like a whole nother animal. It's like you can't just be a musician.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's got them in binders and stuff like that.
Yeah, I did make a 3-ring binder with tabs.
No,
This one's marketing.
You see this? Here, let me print this shit off for you and then it highlights it.
It's all color coded and shit.
Yeah, anything to help me
But
remember.
anymore, I
it.
mean, it's not like, it's not like when, back in the day when Zach and I were first playing shows and, marketing meant Zach was working at Kinko's in Layton and we would take,
it was Alpha Graphics.
yeah, that's right. Alpha Graphics. And so we would run we would get the Mad employee discount on flyers. We would print them up, cut them up, and we would spend, our evenings driving around the greater Ogden area, flyering all of the record stores, the coffee shops, all of that, and just anywhere people are, because, there was no social media and that was the only way to do it. Now it's like marketing a band it's insane. And there's so much that you can keep doing, even when you feel like you're doing everything, there's so much more you can always do. And it's the science behind it is just wild.
Yeah, it's I've definitely sold my soul to the social media gods because I actually I had to. Yeah, it was like, and I mean, I fucking hate social media. And it was like when we got we got signed and curtain call came around, and it was like, okay, like I can sit here and hate it, or I can just like accept my fate and become one with this devil, right?
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, I told work, I said, I need Fridays off because I need to sit and do social media videos. I need to be doing all this stuff, and I need like 8 to 12 hours a week to put this content together because we've got
you're
our
the one that does
TikTok.
most of it?
Yeah,
you do all of it?
All of it. Yep.
Derek's like, yeah.
So we do split it up though, as far as like managing it. So I do all the videos and all the content and I post them. And then Jason's kind of watching our TikTok and then Derek's over our Instagram and AJ's over Facebook.
So
And
you
then
guys delegate.
I kind of watch the YouTube channel, and we kind of back each other up. Like if I
Yeah.
see somebody's posted on Facebook, and AJ hasn't answered, I'll jump on there and say something. But yeah, so it's definitely a group effort.
And that,
as far
I
as
gotta
that
tell you
goes.
right now, like that is so key. That is so key, because normally what I've discovered with most bands is you'll have like one, maybe two guys that are really motivated, and the rest of them just like to complain, and then that's just it, and then and like it used to frustrate the shit out of me, because I'm like, we would probably be so much better off if like one of you guys would take over like the Instagram account or whatever. Like, oh yeah, sure, and then so I give him the login details. I'm like, go ahead, knock yourself out, and it's crickets, and I'm like, yeah. So the fact that you guys are trying, I love it. Like honestly, like you guys have a good shot with you have to anymore, like because being in a band. A musician today, you have to wear so many hats. You can't just be a band. You got to be the marketer, you got to be the producer, you got to be the engineer, you got to be the touring manager, and yeah, it's
manager, merch
manager,
bitch. Like
yeah, merchandise. That's a whole nother thing.
I the number of nights Zach and I have sat there at the merch table looking at each other. It's fucking you and me again, man. Why is it always you and me, man? And you know what? When
Every
we're done,
damn
guess
time.
who's going to be fucking packing this shit up? You and me. Yeah, drummer, go ahead and roll. You can carry your own shit, man. I got the merch.
I never, because they're like, hey, singer, what do you got? A microphone? Yeah, that'll
Right.
help.
That's why I
don't-
played a
don't be-
trumpet, man. I got one case. That's it, and a
I tell you-
microphone. And
I tell you what, though, like guitarists and bassists, their gear is heavy as shit. You know what I mean? Like with the drums, it's in pieces. It's like, oh, here, I just got the stack. And it's like takes two people to roll it up the stairs. And guitars can pack a lot of shit too.
Yeah,
God,
they take
God
up
bless
some
modern
space.
technology on that one for sure. Like it's definitely getting better, I guess.
Yeah. So do you guys, when you guys perform live, do you guys use the in-ear monitor system? Have you guys tried that, or you guys just use like floor monitors?
We
So
have
I try to make this.
setup.
Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
I try to
Dream.
make that argument with my guys, and they're like, I don't know.
I was on board. With Hooray Who, we use in-ears for rehearsals. We never tried them out at a gig, mostly because Hooray Who's just kind of on a extended hiatus right now. Never going to be
another
done,
20
but
years.
probably. Crap, we actually has a one track that we need to finish, and that's unreleased still. So we
Over
need to
a year now, but yeah,
Just waiting.
over a year.
yeah.
Yeah,
But,
I would say if anyone came up to me and said, like, what's the best thing I can do for like my on-stage performance, or I would say get in-ear monitors. Like, I wish I could go to past Carrie and kick her in the ass and say, get some in-ear monitors. Like, it is a game changer. Like,
Absolutely.
it's just,
Well, so
it's
were you
just insane.
anti-monitor like IEMs originally? Were you like, that's not, yeah,
no, I was
before you did that,
never,
or it's like, or
I
just
was
like, I
never-
don't have the money to
Expensive,
buy
right?
that shit.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
it was
it's
just
not
like,
cheap.
Yeah, exactly.
the money, it was a money thing. It was just like, I don't know if I would have, $3,000 to buy myself a set of like in-ear monitors. And so,
Correct.
now we've only had them, 4 years? How long
I
have
mean,
we had our
music
in-ear?
at time.
Probably
You
you,
should-
Carrie, but we probably only as a band use them for
It's true.
maybe two,
Mhm.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Well, and
Yeah,
do you guys use backing tracks too with some of your stuff and a click track and all that? Yeah, Derek's like, yep.
The click track is
absolutely.
a game changer, right? That's the big benefit of the in-ear monitors is the click
Right.
track live.
Yeah.
See, and
The
I
other
tried
thing
to
we
I tried to pitch that to the guys, and some of them are like, cool, and then the other guys are like, I don't know, man, I'm just old fashioned, I guess. I'm like, yeah, you're
Well-
lame, but
Well, the cool thing is you, like with our mix, like Carrie has her mix, Derek has his, I have mine. So if you don't like
Yep.
it, you don't have to have it. That's
Right.
totally on you.
you
So
can dial in your own mix. You guys
Yep.
use like
Yep.
use your phone or tablet or whatever to dial in your own mix. Or
we have an
Tablet.
XR18 Derringer.
oh, okay,
That's
yeah. So
way
we
cool.
we have a Soundcraft that we use.
Yep.
A Soundcraft U20.
And that custom mix is everything, man. Because it's
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
especially like as from the standpoint of a vocalist and a horn player, and me, it's like where your natural kind of tendency when you don't hear yourself well is, without even knowing it, you strain and you push it and you overextend sometimes. It's just kind of and you've got to be really mindful of that. But being able to, like, because I'm going to hear plenty of all y'all. you just by nature. So it's like if I can hear so much of myself and Zach and the other horn players above everybody, it helps me stay. I mean, it's magic.
The repeatability from our studio setup to our live setup is what I think is a huge advantage too, because we don't check monitors at all ever when we play live. It's just, we got to run everything plug and play pretty
right,
much.
because your mix is already saved.
Yeah,
it's
like
it should sound
change
exactly like your rehearsals, I'd imagine.
Pretty much.
It's not very often that we have to adjust it. Like there's been a couple times where we've had to make small adjustments, but I mean, it's like 1 minute, 2 minutes, and we're ready to go.
And when you run the front of the house, do you guys just use like a virtual sound check, like where you just play a song and then
pretty much,
let the mixing guy do his thing or whatever. I'm looking into that. Like that's, I think for my band, my new one, Z Frequency, if we ever play live, it's because every song has different members, and so it's going to take like a handful of guys to be like, I'm willing to do it live, and have to learn all of these other songs that they weren't involved in. And the only way to make that happen is through, in-ear system and a click track and backing tracks. But the nice thing is like that is that you could, like I could play as little as just myself, like karaoke, or I could have 2 guys or 3 guys or the whole band at that point, so. But that's cool. I'm glad to see another band talk about that, because I always feel like I'm pushed up against the wall when I brought it up, and I'm like, no, you guys don't understand. It's like drink purified water.
And it makes me curious. Jason is somebody with on the engineering hook of it. If a band, I have to imagine from an engineering standpoint, sound standpoint, when a band rolls into a club and they run in-ear monitors and there is no monitor mix to worry about, that's got to make the sound engineer's life so much easier, because all you've got to do is house mix and we're ready to go.
Cut sound check time in half, and then no feedback.
Right. Yeah.
Like
no feedback. Right. Because could I get more of me in the monitor? Like, dude, I got you pegged. What do you want me to do? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Cool. Well, I got one more thing, a couple more things. Where can people find you guys? Where's a good place that people go? Where do you find most of your fan base hanging out? I'm like Facebook or Instagram, or
most
where do you guys
are on Facebook, but we're everywhere. We're on YouTube, we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram.
Okay.
Like wherever you go to take in your media, we'll be there already. Just search us up, Scarlet Rain Band.
Cool. And then we do a thing. We have a curated playlist called the Guest List, and it's just for the ZHC podcast guests. What song would you guys like to have us add you to our guest the playlist?
I'd probably say Detonate.
Detonate, okay.
That'd probably be my vote. I don't know what you guys think, but
that's a great choice. Great choice.
Yeah.
Do we have to pick just one, Zach?
Nope.
Can we pick a couple?
Yeah. What's another one? I'll write it down. Hold on.
I would pick Eyes of Fire.
I knew it.
Eyes of Fire.
That was my vote too, Jason.
Okay. Eyes of Fire.
It's a banger. It's a banger.
Nice. And then Detonate. All right. And then, so you guys can, listeners can look forward to seeing you guys maybe do some live shows. You're going to do some festivals, I'm sure. I'm sure you guys are going to keep plugging away. Like you guys are like full steam ahead. One more thing before we wrap it up. What's that?
I said, that's the plan.
Yeah. No, you guys are great. You guys are doing great. Like
you know what's funny?
You're
before Zach gets to the wrap up here, one thing that I've noticed throughout all of our conversation is how similar your approach, not only from having roots with a couple of the members, jamming in high school and coming up through, but with the way, you described your creative process and when you write a song, to, your strategies with the social media and with the in-ear monitors. So much of it is so similar to how Zach and I have always operated. So it's really kind of cool that it's like, all right, cool. And that,
it kind of makes us feel like, hey, we're kind of, we're on
but then we're all full of shit together and in happy, joy.
Yes, all together.
Just don't whiz on the electric fence.
That's right. That's right. Okay, one last question, and I'm going to ask each one of you guys. So we do this thing where if there's what one piece of advice would you give for somebody who's an up-and-coming artist or inspiring artist? And I'm going to go through all 4 of you, okay? We'll start with Derek. What would you say to somebody who said, hey, man, how do I get started? Or what's the one thing I should focus on?
Get to a click track.
All right. AJ, how about you, man?
Don't give up. It's a tough business. It's a tough way to go, but it's worth it if you make it, and it is what you make it.
Absolutely. All right, Jason, how about you? What do you got to say?
Man, the thing that took me to another place was practicing like a motherfucker. For the first 3 years with Scarlet Rain, I practiced 6 hours a day until it hurt. Past when it hurt. So practice.
Repetition. Put the reps in. Get the reps in. I get it. I love it. All right, Carrie, how about you?
I'd probably say as a vocalist, don't care what other people think about you. Get on the stage, be 100% authentic you. And if people give you shit, then they can kiss your ass and use that as fire against them. Use that as power and create something awesome. And never give up. Don't listen to people that talk shit. Don't
That's
listen
so
to them.
fucking metal. It's all.
Believe in yourself.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up. I wanted to say thank you again. We got to have you guys back soon. And
Oh, for sure.
thanks for being I couldn't pick a better podcast or guests than to close out our episode, or I'm sorry, our season, than to have you guys on. You guys are awesome, man. Keep it up.
Thank